Mestiza. This was published as 50 Shades of Beige by Claudia Samantha Dugan in the Literary and Arts magazine of Howard Community College. Before me, the burdensome, lingering questions, the obstreperous thoughts that the form provokes stand. With all my heart, I wish my eyes would read it as a simple way to gather data. Once again, with no hesitation, I respond yes to the question, are you Latino, Hispanic? In the ethnicity section of the data form. Once again, I need to pause at the next part. Yes, the one that distinguishes ethnicity from race. As if I were taking a high-stakes final examination, I teeter. I think I have the answer. Then I stop. Something tells me that I would be hiding in a closet, at least one of my relatives, if I answered yes to this or that. I read over and over to find the word mestizo or mix, but to no avail, it is not there. Please, allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I acknowledge that I am made of flesh and many bloods. I am made of dust, I am made of yarn, I am made of corn. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I recognize the collective 50 shades of beige in the tapestry that sustain me, the ones that allow me to belong in the pattern. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, the sudden craves for cinnamon coffee, for chocolate, for butter on top of a croissant next to a freshly made tortilla and avocado make more sense. Let me see. Last time someone on this side of the Rio Grande saw a picture of my uncles and my mom, he made me realize that indeed my family is of those 50 shades or more of beige. Trying to guess the origin of each of my uncles and my mom, this person said that for sure one of them was from India, one of them was North African, and one of the girls was of European heritage, of course. How could he know that my mom's fair skin, greenish eyes, and reddish hair were a sample of variation in the genetic probability of inheritance statistical chart? How could he know that my uncle's very dark skin, his very dark, very curly hair, which he proudly wears in an afro style, is evidence of dominant genes? Of course, we joked after I finally revealed the identity of the people in the photo that my mom and my uncles were possibly the children of the milkman, the mailman, and the newspaper delivery man. Oh, abuelita, please forgive me. You know it was just una broma. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I celebrate the Asian genes that Tia Marta's DNA has recently confirmed. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I recognize not only the linguistic influence of North Africa in our ojalá, washallah, but also the African diaspora dispersed in our genes, scattered in beliefs and in customs. Oh, please allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I honor the resistance of who knows how many possible ancestors who boldly disobeyed oppressive laws forbidding them to intermix, in order to free their children. Before Yanga, before Morelos and Guerrero, many of our African ancestors intermarried, mixing their blood to the already mixed blood of more than 68 nations. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I remember that old lady someone said might be an aunt, who quietly lit the Sabbath candle each Friday night, and often invited us children to play with the toma todo dreidel. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I suddenly remember the smell of tortillas combined with the smell of bolillos bread that Papi often brought home to tell us stories about his French bakers abuelo and tios. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, part of me can fly along with the condor to times where I can join the more than 60 indigenous nations of the Americas whose people stood in awe contemplating the skies, who love poetry, sciences, and math, who often pray before making tejidos, that the Almighty will help them find the pattern. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, part of me finally understands why our catechists force us to read those boring genealogies. Allow me to say mestizo, for when I do, I sense the throbbing palpitations of my heart, provoking me just as much to close my eyes to hear the floating notes of a European violin as to frantically dance at the African drum rhythms in la bamba or the flamenco guitars. In front of this form, as tabaré, the light-colored eyed Amerindian in Zorrilla's poem. As the two Fridas, I stand, sensing the 50 shades of beige in me, feeling very mestiza and begging you to add mestizo, or at least mix, to the data list.